everybody, it's Ian the Off-Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today in what seems like a never-ending series of cards that just go wrong. Watch today as I try to put this card together. I definitely made a mistake on it and tried to figure out how to recover from that mistake, and I keep in these types of mistakes because I want you to see what happens so that way maybe you can figure out how to work around your mistakes. Luckily enough for me, this one was an easy one to fix. It just took a little bit longer than I expected. So let's go ahead and see how I put this card together. I'm once again going to be using the Lawn Fawn dies. This is the speech bubble backdrop. I like this gigantic die a lot, and I have an idea that I hope will work out well with it. I'm going to be using it in tandem with the Concord and 9th stamp set, Everyday Greetings stamp set. It has a lot of everyday greetings. I'm always in the need for birthday cards, it seems like, so I'm going to go ahead and put together a birthday card today using this. You know, every time I think about putting together a card, I try to figure out how to make everything connects. So, or the way that everything connects. So, like, how does the speech bubbles reflect on the stamp set? And I tried to find something that fits so that way it made more sense. Like, why would you have speech bubbles for happy birthday? There's not really a connection between the two, and sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it's okay just to put a unique kind of technique on it, or you know, something like that. I was racking my brain, running through my stamp sets, trying to figure out how to make this work, and there's really no connection between the two. But I think, we'll see, but I think once we put this card together, it'll be just fine, and I know that the recipient will always like it no matter what. But, you know, we always try to think about how to make these connections, like a stamp set that has animals, and then maybe I would fill in the word bubbles with animal words like meow or woof or, you know, something like that. But sometimes, you know, it's okay just to kind of play around and do things in connection because they look cool. So that's what we're going to do today. I've been talking a lot. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be using some Canson XL watercolor paper. This sheet is 9 inches by 12 inches. This is 140 pound cold press. Let me make sure I got all the details in there. Cold press watercolor Canson XL 140 pound 9 inches by 12 inches. And I'm going to cut this piece of paper down to, I think, about 6.5 by 6.5 because I want a pretty large area to work from. So let's get all this set up and ready to go because we're going to do a little bit of watercolor-ish kind of technique. Hold on, be right back. Okay, I have taped down my watercolor paper to this is probably not the best idea. It's a plastic clipboard, one of those thicker ones that you can open up. Probably not the best of ideas because when I hit my heat tool, it could possibly warp the plastic, but honestly, these are so cheap. If that happened, I could just buy another one. I need to invest in one of those MDF boards. I just haven't done it yet. So I'm going to be using some Ken Oliver Color Burst with today's creation. I'm going to be using a watercolor brush, a big just swath brush, to put a lot of the water onto my watercolor paper. I don't want to put too much though, because I don't want there to be puddles or you know, sloshing around. A little bit of mixing is okay, but I don't want to do this too much. And I'm gonna try and stay in the color family. Like, I'm gonna kind of go in color order, rainbow order, so that way like a green doesn't end up next to a red because that ends up turning into mud. So this is all about playing and experimenting. It's not about technique really. It's just kind of, I haven't used these in a while and I wanted to bust them out and see what I can do with them again since I haven't played with them in a while. So alright, anyways, that's enough talking. Alright, here is what we got. You did notice that I went in and played a little bit more with the purple, there was a big spot of just basically straight pigment over on the side, and I wanted to bring that back out a little bit. Of course, since it was done after it dried, it made a very hard line up against the red and the orange and stuff. So maybe some people wouldn't have liked that. It doesn't bother me, so I'm just gonna use this, and we're gonna move on to our next step. Next up, I'm going to take my Versamark ink and that happy birthday sentiment, and do I want the little... no, I'm just going to do it. I was going to see if I wanted to put the little embellishment on top of it, but I'm just going to go straight regular happy birthday, and I'm going to stamp it onto some black 65-pound cardstock. I believe this is Recollections cardstock. I'm just going to stamp it onto the center of it. Like that. That should work. Oh, and I should have had my embossing powder ready, and I didn't. Hold on. I also probably should have used my embossing tool, and I keep forgetting that I have the anti-static tool, anyways, I'm going to use some white alabaster embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. Just put that on there like that, and tap off the excess. Didn't quite get that Y all the way. Anyways, once I get this all covered, I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss this and get this set and ready to go. Okay, it's time to start die cutting everything. I'm gonna grab my speech bubble die out of its packaging and get it ready to go. This is what I'm going to use to cut my panel right here, and I forgot, I probably should have made it a little smaller because I don't know that this is going to, oh no, it's not going to fit. Yeah, we'll trim off the excess white areas, and then I'll put it through the die cut machine and cut out my design. And I don't quite know what I'm going to get when I put this through the die cutting machine because I can't see it while it's going through. So we're gonna see what we end up getting whenever it pops out on the other side. I'm also gonna be cutting out my happy birthday using a stitch circle die from Simon Says Stamp. I think that's about where I want that right there. And we'll put the other plate on and run this through. So as I was sitting here thinking about everything, I realized I wasn't wanting to put this through the die cutting machine. I actually just was going to glue this panel straight down onto cardstock and then put this white frame on top of it, so that way the bubbles would be kind of almost debossed looked, I guess. Man, you know, sometimes my brain works faster than I think, and yeah, it's not exactly what I wanted to do, but that's okay. I'm gonna make this work. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do to deal with my mistake. I have some press and seal here. I haven't even opened it yet, but I'm going to try and like use the press and seal to capture everything on the plate here, and then I'll well, let's just see what happens. Okay, so I have the press and seal, and I'm just gonna lay it down over everything. If it'll stop sticking, it has like some major static cling going on. So I'm gonna press this onto my die on the back side here with all the paper. I'm gonna press my paper, the press and seal onto the paper, and it should, well, no. Oh boy. And I need my poking tool because some of these are not poking out, it looks like, and I just jabbed it into my arm. Awesome! Wow, this is going spectacularly today. High quality content, guys. Alright, so I'm gonna poke these little pokers and see if I can just get it to stick to the press and seal. Okay, so not horrible. Definitely not what I was wanting today. Was going for a different look, but you know, it's okay, it happens. Sometimes we just get so into our process that we forget to stop and think. So, okay, I've at least got it to a place that I'm okay with. And I'm gonna make sure to save everything. Okay, so not horrible, but definitely not what I was gonna do today. Okay, I've gone through and cut another piece of this is just regular white cardstock, and I don't need to save the pieces, and I need to run this another dryer sheet through this because as you can see it is sticking very well. So I'm gonna get my poking tool. I just need the border for this one. I don't need the little pieces here. I just need the border to pop out. So I don't think I fully explained myself. So whenever your dies that have a large surface area just like this one, whenever they like hold on to the pieces too well, run them through your die cutting machine using a dryer sheet, and that kind of like lubes it up so that way the pieces fall out more easily. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. It really just depends on like what specifically you're looking for. So I'm gonna take these pieces now and put them off to the side, and I think we're finally ready to start assembling everything. Man, this card has just not gone the way I wanted it to. Anyways, I'm gonna use a dot liner to, I'm gonna put a lot of adhesive on this, mostly because I'm gonna be fitting those pieces back into itself on this one, so I'm just gonna run a lot of adhesive on there. I could use liquid adhesive if I really wanted to, but I don't really see the need for me to do that on this one. So just gonna put it down several places. I'm gonna put my white frame around the edge here, which by the way, I think I forgot to mention, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding card. This is Neenah Solar White 110 pound cardstock. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all of my little shapes and I should be able to just pop them into place. Okay, crisis averted, I think. It looks like we've gotten everything put back where we needed to. My card is a little long and I'll probably trim that off whenever I get the card finished up for this time. I have my happy birthday circle and I'm gonna grab some foam adhesive to put on the back of it. Alright, so the happy birthday goes right in the center, I feel like. Okay, this card took way longer than it should in a series of cards that seem to never end. Jeez, I don't know what's going up. I guess the Mercury in retrograde has just gone haywire. Anyways, so there is the card for today, and I'm noticing I also put a little spot over here. Awesome. Oh well. Anyways, so that's the card for today, and I think it turned out okay. So as you can see, I think everything turned out okay, even after my little boo-boo. I figured it out and worked through it, and I think it turned out great. Mistakes are a part of crafting, and a lot of times your mistakes turn into happy mistakes that you can recover from and figure out how to use it to your advantage. Sometimes mistakes do happen and we just have to kind of let go of the idea and let go of that craft. But like I said, a lot of times you can recover from those mistakes and they turn into something pretty amazing. I think this card actually turned out better than I thought it was going to. I think that's gonna do it for today's video. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up, let YouTube know that you liked my video, and then hopefully YouTube will share it across YouTube land. Also guys, don't forget to hit that button down below that says subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and get great updates every time I post a new video or go live by clicking on that bell icon. You can also get social with me over on my social media links. Those are listed down in the description below. Make sure to go check those out, get social with me, say hello on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all over the place. I hope everybody has a great day. Remember guys, normal's just a setting on the dryer. Bye!